sometimes destructive, as when my marriage went up in flames and I was estranged from my children for a while. But mostly tranquil, as in the case of the film I shot for Granada Television on the poet Wordsworth and his sister. William and Dorothy was about two people who loved each other as much as the place in which they lived, and celebrated it in their life and work. A young American girl was now sharing my life, and like the Wordsworths before us, we discovered the wonders of the place together, and every day brought fresh delights. And although William and Dorothy were one in spirit, the ultimate sacrament was denied them. But just as Viv and I were contemplating a pagan marriage, Hollywood called. We could have had an easy life in Tinseltown, but Viv couldn't stand the smog, and neither could I. So having made a couple of cult classics, Altered States and Crimes of Passion, we packed our bags and made tracks for home, stopping off on the way to be married by the Reverend Tony Perkins on board the Queen Mary. After the honeymoon, Viv, who was a graduate of the Boston Film School, settled down with me in our lonely cottage in the hills. Her maiden name was Jolly, and she spent most of the long winter evenings trying to cheer me up. For Hollywood had quickly forgotten me, and the British film industry were frightened of my hairstyle, so I was out of work and out of sorts. My critics had been less than kind. Of course, I had a whole shelf of awards, and they were a comfort to me, as was the support of my dear wife.
Delights in outraging our sensibilities. A psychologist of the uglier emotions. A thoroughly vicious work, full of chaos and bad taste. Crazy pursuit of novelty, decadence, and death. Hatred, contempt, rage, disgust, despair, and mockery serve as models for his moods. Should be banned on the grounds of indecency. Ideas as pretentious as they are bizarre. Erratic and erotic spasms of ugliness. A sentimental voluptuary wallowing in nature. Stop! They're not about you. They're about your favorite composers. Elgar, Prokofiev, Bartok, Delius, Debussy. They'll be remembered long after those stupid reviews. Aldrich, Darrell, Elson, Apthorpe. Who ever heard of them?
But love them or hate them, I have to admit that some of my films were flops. Nothing to do with their merit, you understand. It's all a question of marketing. Even so, there were times in my life when no one seemed to want me. I waited for a call from my agent in vain. No feature films? Then what about a home movie with the kids? It was a lot of fun, but it didn't pay the rent. But luckily Viv could type. So we put our heads together and wrote a succession of screenplays, culminating in The Rainbow, based on a novel by D.H. Lawrence. Women in Love had been a hit, so why shouldn't we get lucky with the prequel? My agent did his best, but it seems that our scripts just weren't considered commercial, and even The Rainbow joined the pile of rejects. There was nothing for it but to pray. Hello?
Ken? Melvin, how'd you like to do a film on Vaughan Williams?
Sounds great! Told constantly by our critics that my work was operatic, a dirty word in England, I took the hint and went to sunny Italy to direct lyric drama, and quickly made a reputation. My most controversial production was Mephistopheles, which includes a scene in a prison cell where the deranged heroine, accused of drowning her baby and murdering her mother, protests her innocence. In Genoa, where some unfortunate women are still treated like chattels, that scene made headlines. Likewise, the Devil's Spaceship, powered by a convent of nuns, fed into a fiery furnace. In a town noted for its superabundance of holy sisters, it was standing room only, but I was escorted to the airport. It was around this time that I was asked to direct my first music video, which also helped pay the rent and keep me out of trouble, for a time at least. Here's a sample, a song about our planet, She's So Beautiful, written by Dave Clark and sung by Cliff Richard, and filmed guessed where. Nice song, pretty pictures, and shot outside the back door, and not in the least controversial. Wrong. This version, seen here for the first time, was banned by the BBC for being unsuitable for children. More trouble, big trouble. With me in court being sued for $1 million. Having finally landed a feature film, Moll Flanders, I was accused of walking off it. Bankruptcy stared me in the face. Or even worse. Of course I was innocent, but what if I lost the case? I didn't have $1 million. I didn't have enough money for my defense even.